The Indus Plain is located towards the eastern side of Pakistan. It is drained by River Indus, as the name suggests, and its tributaries. This plain can be divided into two, the Upper Indus and the Lower Indus Plain. In the Upper Indus Plain, we have five rivers, River Indus and its four major tributaries. But in the Lower Indus Plain, there is only one river flowing, that is River Indus. So if we talk about the location, the Upper Indus starts south of the Himalayas, after the foothills of Himalayas, and it covers most of the part of Punjab plain, most of the part of Punjab province, and it ends at Mithankot. Mithankot is the point where all the tributaries of River Indus have finally joined it, and after Mithankot, River Indus flows as one river. If we talk about the location of Lower Indus Plain, it starts somewhere after Mithankot and it goes all the way towards south, where it drains into Arabian Sea, where the Lower Indus ends at the deltaic region. Now the Lower Indus Plain covers most of the part of Sindh province and a little part of Balochistan province as well. Doab is the region or the land which is present or located in between two rivers, and it goes all the way where these two rivers meet. So if we talk about the Lower Indus Plain, there is no Doab because there is only one river flowing, and Doab is the land between two rivers. So Doabs are only present in the Upper Indus Plain. We have four Doabs here. You can see the names. Sindh Sagar Doab, it is situated in between River Indus and River Jhelum, and it is the biggest of all the Doabs. And on this Doab we have Thal Desert located as well. Then is Church Doab, which is situated in between River Jhelum and Chenab. Then we have Rachna Doab between River Chenab and Ravi, and Bari Doab, which is situated in between River Ravi and River Satluj. On this map here, you can see the Doabs of Punjab. We will be talking about only the first four Doabs because these are situated in Pakistan. And you can see the red color shows Sindh Sagar Doab, and the yellow color is showing Church Doab. Green color is representing Rachna Doab, and blue color is representing Bari Doab. So you can see these are the areas which are situated in between two rivers. So this figure here is showing you some of the physical features which are found or formed on the Indus Plain. Now you can see there is the ski given, and we have active floodplain and delta floodplain, old floodplains which are shown with dark green color. We have alluvial terraces which are shown with this brown color, and rolling sand plains. Then we have Piedmont plains as well. So starting with this active floodplain, you can see these lines which are basically river itself and the area surrounding it, the area which is flooded every year. You can see the other part that comes after active floodplain, which is shown with green color on either side of active floodplain. This is referred as old floodplain. As the name suggests, it does not flood every year, but whenever there is going to be torrential rainfall, there is going to be high influx of water, this area can also inundate. Flooding can also occur in this area, but it is not that frequent. It can happen every 5 to 7 years depending on the climatic conditions. Then we have alluvial terraces. Alluvial terraces are also known as bar uplands or interfluves. These, as the name suggests, terraces, these are elevated areas. They are also formed by the deposition of alluvium which has been brought by river, because the river keep on changing its path. It might take a long time, but it does change its path. it keeps on shifting from one place to other. So these areas which are now alluvial terraces, these used to be old floodplains at a time, or maybe active floodplain, but as river keep on causing downward erosion and keep on eroding soil with it, these terraces are left elevated, and rest of the parts which are old floodplains and active floodplains, these are a little lower as compared to the terraces. Then we have rolling sand plains. These rolling sand plains are the areas which are desert areas of Pakistan. You can see in between river Indus and river Jhelum, we have this rolling sand plains. This is basically Thal desert, which is situated in Punjab on Sindh Sagar Doab. And if we look towards the eastern side of river Indus, in both upper and lower Indus plain, we see a vast area of rolling sand plains. This is the area where we have Cholistan desert to the east of upper Indus, and Thar Parker and Nara desert in the eastern side of lower Indus plain. Then we have Piedmont plains. You can see Piedmont plains are in the north of upper Indus plain. Why? Because in the north of upper Indus plain we have Himalayas and Siva lakes are there, and we also have in between these two rivers, in between river Indus and Jhelum, there are salt ranges, and because of the salt ranges also there is this part which is Piedmont plain. And you can also see towards the west of river Indus we have Piedmont plains. Now there's a mountain range which is part of western mountains we have studied towards west of river Indus or towards west of Punjab, that is Suleiman range. So after the foothills of Suleiman range, the plain area which is found, it's referred as Piedmont plain. And if we talk about the lower Indus plain, towards the lower Indus plain we also have a mountain range, that is Kirthar range. And because of the presence of Kirthar range, we have Piedmont plains present towards the west of lower Indus plain or towards west of river Indus. We'll discuss these in detail in the upcoming slides. So let's see what we have. An active floodplain is a narrow plain which is found either side of river, on both sides of river. It consists of river channel and the part which is referred as floodway that remains dry when there is less water in the river, but when there would be rainfall, which is usually during summers in Pakistan, and when there is glacier melt and snow melt, during that time, due to high influx of water in the rivers, the river would come on its bank, the river water would spread on the active floodplain as well. As the name refers, it's active, so it floods periodically almost every year or every second year. Now this is an area which is made up of alluvium, and relatively new alluvium, because during every flooding season when river water would recede, it would leave behind a new layer of alluvium, making the soil rich in nutrients and rich with new silt. This is locally known as Khadar land or bet area. Now the features which we may find on an active floodplain, we have braided channels, we have meanders, oxbow lakes and levees. In the upcoming slides I'll show you pictures of all of these and you'll come to see what kind of features are these. What we see here is the aerial view of a river. You can see in the picture where there is no flooding, the river is in a narrow channel. And why is it in a narrow channel? Because there is normal amount of water in it, but in this picture which covers more area, it's after flooding, after heavy rainfalls that happens during monsoon in Pakistan. You can see river's channel is a narrow channel in this picture, which is of dry season, relatively dry season. But when there is rainfall, the river would have high influx of water, it would swell, and the water would come on this area, which is referred as active floodplain. And when the water would recede after rainy season would end, it would leave behind a new layer of fertile soil, a new layer of alluvium, because the river erodes soil, it causes erosion. So the eroded materials which it has brought, it would be deposited on the active floodplain, making it fertile. And also availability of more water in this area can help in cultivation of crops which are water intensive, such as sugarcane or rice. You can see in this figure a river has formed meanders. Now meanders are basically curves, and these are bends in the river course. When river is in the plain area, instead of moving in one straight channel, it tends to form these meanders. And why are these meanders formed? Because of constant erosion and deposition which is taking place when the water in the river is moving due to current of the river. Now you can see these loops are formed, and what would happen, the process of deposition and erosion would continue to take place, and eventually these loops would be cut off and they would form oxbow lakes. I hope you remember this from class 8 when you were studying the life cycle of a river, the work, erosion and deposition of river. Braided channels are formed when the river carries a huge quantity of load, when it has a lot of sediment carried with it. Now river tends to deposit it while it's moving in its channel, and so we would have a network of river channels which would be separated by small temporary islands, or we can call them braid bars. You can see in this picture that there are quite a few channels, multiple channels are there. It's the same river which is divided into separate channels, and in between channels, this area where you can see the sand is deposited, these are known as braid bars. These are common in the active floodplain. Most of the time when the weather is dry, when there is no rainfall, then this area, the braided channels, would remain dry, and when there would be more water in the river during the rainy season, then there would be water in these braided channels. Levees are called bunds in the local language. These bunds could be man-made or these could be naturally formed. These are actually embankments or banks on each side of river, and if they are man-made, their purpose is to control water, to prevent the adjacent areas from flooding, and it helps in regulating water levels in the river itself. Bar uplands are also known as alluvial terraces or scalloped interfluves. These are the areas almost in the center of Doab, and they are the higher parts of Doab. That's why these are referred as bar upland. They are formed of old alluvium, and they are of uniform texture. They have plain surface, and at times these bar uplands or alluvial terraces, these are almost 20 feet high, that is 6 meters above the river level. That's why these are not prone to flooding. And on the edges of these bar uplands, or on the edges of these alluvial terraces, we have scarps, which are steep slopes formed due to erosion caused by river. So as I said, this area, the alluvial terrace, it's made up of alluvium, and it's not prone to flooding because it's slightly higher land. It's the highest part on a doab. So this is ideal for almost all kind of economic activities, uh, be it industrial sector, be it agricultural sector. We have a good network of infra canals, and we have roads and railways. We have infrastructure provided in almost all the parts of these alluvial terraces. In this picture here, you can see it's the floodplain, and right after the floodplain you can see the slope, which is referred as a scarp, and after scarp we have this plain area of uniform height. This is basically alluvial terrace.